Good morning. It is Wednesday morning and this is day 2 of yoga week. And I didn't sleep well again last night because my heart started racing again. So I'm a little tired and bags under my eyes and just looking just totally wonderful today. Not. But anyways, I'm going to start my yoga practice.
Hands forward and then just relaxing your chest in between. Taking these first few moments of the practice just to check in with your breath. Feel those inhales dragging in through the back of the throat. And those exhales dragging out through the nose. These first few moments of practice are really some of the most precious moments. It gives you an opportunity to check in with your body, unwind from your day. And just feel the nerves start to settle. Forward in front of you if they're not already. Have the hands and knees closed, tabletop position. Stacking your wrists right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. Take an inhale to lengthen your sternum forward towards the front of your neck. Sit bones to sky, and then exhale, dome the upper chest and let a nice cat stretch to open up the back. Inhale, sternum lift, sit bones to sky, open up. Front to the bottom, and then exhale, push the floor away as you draw your chin in. Open up. Few more rounds of these. Associating movement with the breath. Moving to the rhythm of your own breath. And just letting that feel really nice for yourself. One more round. Inhale. Exhale. And this next inhale, come to a neutral spine. Draw the belly button towards the midline. Send your right foot back behind you. Internally rotate that right thigh back. And if you have a little bit more room, you can extend that left hand forward in a handshake position. It's a tough balance, so know that you can always keep that left hand rooted down. You can even keep those right toes down on the mat if this feels a little bit much for that outer right glute. Feel that right hand spread wide on the mat. Take an inhale, elongate, and then exhale, set everything down. Switching sides, send that left foot back behind you. Toes are flexing back towards your hips. Feel the internal rotation of that left thigh up. And then maybe reach that right hand forward in a handshake position. So as you dynamically reach through the lifted limbs, you kind of want to feel your core engage. The abdominal wall pull in and up. And then those floating ribs melt in towards the midline. Take one more breath, lift. And then exhale, set everything down to the floor. Take an inhale, lift your belly, lift your heart. And then exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, first downward facing dog. And go ahead and look back in between your feet. Make sure their hips within distance apart. And just a feel good down dog. You can bend one knee and bend the other. You can sway your hips from side to side. Just really stretch through the side waist and let that feel really good. A little bit of stillness. Rotate those inner thighs back. Plant the hands down firmly into the floor. And then when you're ready, take an inhale, flow forward to plank pose, top of the cushion. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Elbows sweep the center. Untuck your toes. Let them feel heavy on the mat. Inhale to cobra pose. Reach your heart forward and up. And exhale before coming back down. 2 more of those. Inhale, cobra. Elbow tips hug in and back. Exhale before coming down. Inhale, cobra. Let the legs be strong, heart be open. And then exhale before coming back down. Good. Go ahead and tuck your toes, walk them in until you feel your legs lift up off the floor. Good. Using the pressure in your palms, take an inhale up to plank pose. The belly lifts first. And then exhale, downward facing dog, hinging at you. Good. So being mindful that you're not moving from your lower back as you move through those vinyasas. You really want to try to move through your core. Couple deep breaths. And then go ahead and bring your feet a little bit closer to the back of your mat. Inhale, lift the right foot up. And exhale, draw your right knee towards your nose, tiger's pose. Rocking forward into your palms. Try to lift that right thigh towards your chest. Inhale, the right foot up and back. Downward facing dog, right foot down next to left. Inhale, left foot rises from the inner thigh, spiral up. Exhale, left knee to nose, tiger's pose. Try to feel that left side open, fire lift. Inhale the left foot up and back, downward facing dog, left foot down next to right. Inhale, glide forward to plank pose, top of a cushion. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog if you're ready for that. And then exhale from the belly, pull back, downward facing dog. Outer arms wrap down and in. Inside of those palms now. And then take an inhale, look forward, come up high on your toes, bend your knees, and at the bottom of that exhale, step or up to the top of the mat. Good. Inhale, look halfway out, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, forward fold, separate the feet, hips width and distance, grab opposite elbows, and allow your head to hang in between the space of your arms. Gently rocking from side to side. Slight micro bend in the knees might feel really good here just to lengthen out your lower back. And then just feel your breath massaging up and down your spine. And one more deep breath. And then exhale, release your hands down to the floor. Good, hands to shins. Take an inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Then bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to stand at the top of your mat. Bring your feet to top, take a breath. Feel strong in your Tadasana, mountain pose. Lift the thighs, hug the shins in, and lengthen through the back of your mat. Asana at the top of your mat. Inhale, length halfway out, Ardha Uttanasana. Keep that length as you plant your palms and step back to plank. And lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, open to cobra or up dog. This is very personal. You can get into the back bend that feels good for you. And then exhale, down dog, hips up and back. Surya Namaskar. Inhale, look forward, come up high on your toes, bend your knees, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, glance halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach your arms to the sky, palms touch. Hands to heart center, Samastiti, steady pose. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Plant your palms, step back. Maybe lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, open to cobra. Down dog, hips up and back. 3 deep breaths. One more. Inhale, glance forward. Come up high on your toes, bend your knees, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, glance halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise, palms touch above your head. Heels the hands to heart center. Thumbs at your strength. Inhale, reach up. Gather that energy. Exhale, fold forward, pulling in the belly. Inhale, find a little bit of a back bend as you lengthen up. Plant your palms, step or lightly hop back to bend elbows. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, down, dog, and fold. Nice. Inhale, lift your right foot up. Exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. Drop your back knee down to the floor. Good. Anjaneyasana, reach your arms up to the sky. Good. You want your shoulders to step right on top of your hips. You might want to back out of the pose just a little bit so you can feel that tailbone draw down. That inner right foot become heavy, and you can lengthen up through the sides of your waist. You might choose to hook your thumbs and fan your fingertips wide. Take another breath. Good. And then exhale the hands down to the floor. Straighten out your front leg and bend into that back knee, coming into half Hanumanasana. Flexing that right foot back. So Gabe's going to want to shoot this right foot forward just a little bit more so that his hips can step right on top of that left knee. There's a hamstring stretch. Good. Take an inhale. And then exhale, bend back into that front knee. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg straight. And then run your arms down along your sides. Good, so the heart is still reaching forward. You're lifting the right side belly a little bit, and you're starting to power up that back thigh. There's a little bit of that lift in the belly and opening up the chest. Some intention through the fingertips. Take an inhale. And then exhale, reach the hands forward in a full crescent, one breath. Take an inhale. And then exhale the hands down to the floor. Step the right foot back. Lower down through a vinyasa or skip it. Go straight to downward facing dog. These vinyasas build heat in the body. They also kind of warm you up. But if you need to take it easy, always down dog, child's pose is there for you. Inhale, lift the left foot up. Step the left foot forward between your hands. Drop the back knee down to the floor. Reach the arms up to the sky, Anjaneyasana lunge. Good, left hip crease pulls back. Tailbone melts down. Good, so this is a low crescent. So all of those actions are plotting in the body. Low ribs melt in. Maybe you hook the opposite thumb and fan your fingertips. Creating a lot of space in the neck. Really nice. Stick with your breath. And then exhale the hands down to the floor. Good. Straighten out your front leg. Bend into that back knee. Flex the left toes back towards your face. Good. And you want your hips to stack right on top of that knee. And we don't have any blankets here, but of course if you have any sensitivity in your knees, you can put a little bit of padding underneath for any time that knee comes down to the floor. Take an in breath. And then exhale, bend back into that front knee. Tuck the back toes, power up the back leg, and run your arms down along your sides, coming into modified crescent. So you want to stand into that left foot. Feel the inner thigh spiral down, the back thigh spiral up. Take another breath, feel the belly, and then reach the hands forward enough. Come into full crescent pose. A slight bend in that back knee might feel really nice to draw the tailbone down. You want to create a lot of space in your low back. Softening through the shoulders. Wrapping those triceps forward. And take an inhale. And then exhale the hands down to the floor. Step the left foot back, plank pose. Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Down dog, hips up and back. Nice. Inhale, look forward, come up high on your toes, bend your knees, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, glance halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees to Utkatasana, chair pose. Good, so in chair pose, you want the weight to be down into the heels. As you roll the inner thighs down, lift the low belly up. Exactly. Feel those floating ribs pull in towards the midline. As the shoulder blades soften down your back. Take an in-breath. And then exhale, pull to stand, hands to heart center, Samana. Good. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, sit down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, glance halfway out. Plant your palms, step back, plank pose, vinyasa, or go straight into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right foot up. Draw your right knee to your right tricep. Pull it up. Inhale the right foot up and back. Step the right foot forward in between your hands. Spin your back foot flat. Line it up front heel to back arch alignment. Press into the outer blade of that back foot. And then pinwheel open to warrior two so that you're facing the left side of your mat. And make sure that right sitting bone is pulling towards the back of your mat. So that front thigh is an external rotation, and then that back leg is an internal rotation, wrapping towards the right side of your mat. The toes are soft as you root down into the mound of the big toe and the outer blade of that back foot. Flip your right palm to the sky, reverse your warrior, reach up and back, stay light on your left fingertips. And then exhale, windmill your hands down to the floor. And step the right foot back, vinyasa, down dog, yogi's choice. Move with your breath. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. Inhale the left foot up and back. Step the left foot forward in between your hands. Spin your back foot flat, heel to arch alignment. Good. Press into the outer blade of that back foot. Toes are at 3 o'clock. And then pinwheel open to warrior two. Good. So trying to move slowly and mindfully through these transitions. There's so much to be learned in the in-between moments, both on and off your mat. Right? Softening down through your shoulders. As that left hip hugs in and underneath you, that right thigh bone spirals back. You want to make sure that front knee is always tracking over the second and third toe. And take one more breath. Flip the left hand to the sky, reverse your warrior, reach up and back. And then exhale, hands down to the floor. Step the left foot back, vinyasa, down dog. And then take an inhale, look forward, come up high on your toes, bend your knees, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, glance halfway out. Forward fold, bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Come to stand, hands to heart center, Samana. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Good, so for a lot of us, just balancing on one foot is going to take quite a bit of work. So maybe you stay here just working on strengthening that standing leg. Others of you find tree pose. Take the left foot to the inner right thigh. Bring your hands to heart center. Good, so if you are still working into warming up the hips, then you can always bring that left foot to the calf. You want to feel a lot of energy between the sole of the left foot, the inner right thigh. You can reach your arms up to the sky. Rooting down through the foot, lifting the arch of the foot up, the outer right ankle. Take an inhale. And then exhale your hands back to heart center. Left foot comes down to meet the right. Draw the right knee in towards your chest. And again, maybe just working here on the balance, stabilizing that standing leg, lifting the thigh bone up. If you have a little bit more room, then you can place the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh, or maybe down to the left calf, as Michelle is doing. hands to heart center. And then feel that energy between your palms really pressing in. It's nice to bring the thumbs towards the sternum, towards the midline. Maybe reaching your arms up towards the sky, lengthening up, growing your tree, extending your branches, reaching up towards the ceiling. It's a really nice grounding posture, but also something that really builds height and length in the body. Deep breath here. And then exhale the hands back down. Step that right foot down next to the left. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, glance halfway out. Plant your palms, step back to plank pose, vinyasa or downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward in between your hands. And spin your back foot flat, and we'll open to warrior two. And then straighten out your front leg. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Reach the right fingertips forward and place them down on your shin or outside of the foot. So you don't want to collapse forward in this pose. Instead, you want to really open up the chest. Feel that right hip hugging in and underneath you. The outer blade of that left foot rooting down. Nice stretch for the front inside of that left thigh. Guys, take one more breath. And then exhale, come back into warrior two. Take an inhale. And exhale, windmill your hands down to the floor. Step the right foot back and hold. You're going to roll to the outer edge of that left foot and reach your right arm towards the sky. If that's too much, you can always place that left knee down on the floor right underneath your left hip, just as Michelle is doing here. But you're still building that strength in the left arm, the left side body, but you have a little bit more stability by placing that knee down. You can place that top leg into tree pose if you like. Sometimes that feels good, or just lift it up. And exhale, that right hand down to the floor, down dog, hips up and back. Step the left foot forward in between your hands. Spin the back foot flat, warrior two as you inhale. And then go ahead and straighten that front leg. Good, so find power through the thighs, make them strong. Reach the left fingertips forward. And place that left hand down on your left shin or outside of the foot. You have a little bit of Vashisthasana happening here in the left side body. There's a nice triangular shape that's happening in the legs between the mat, but also through the left side waist, that left thigh and that left arm. Maybe you glance up. Thanks, guys. One more breath. And then exhale, come back into warrior two. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Step the left foot back, roll to the outer blade of your right foot or place that right knee down on the floor. Side plank pose. It's definitely an arm balance. You're building strength in that right arm. You want to really firm that right forearm up so you're lifting up out of the wrist joint. Keeping that breath steady and free. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale that left hand down to the floor, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Nice. Take an inhale, look forward, come up high on your toes, bend your knees, step or lightly hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, glance halfway up. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Navasana, boat pose. Sit down, lift your feet up. So most arm balances, it's really important to build a little bit of stability in the core. That Mula Bandha, that pelvic floor drawing in and up, that's what lifts the feet up off the floor. But Uddiyana Bandha, pulling it back, is what will give you height and stability as you balance. Exhale, lower down halfway, Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. The inner thighs roll down, shoulders lift as though they were wings that were assisting your sternum towards the sky. And then exhale, pull back into Navasana, boat pose. Nice. Take an inhale. And then exhale, grab the back of your thighs. Rock forward and back on your spine. Come back into chair pose at the top of your mat. Woo! Go for it. Hands to your heart. Bakasana Koko. Hands down. Knees into the back of your triceps. You're going to bend your elbows like chaturanga and work on rocking forward. Maybe lifting one or both feet up off the floor. You might just be working on the hand balance. And if you can step or lightly hop back and do that now, or place your feet back down and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right foot up. Step the right foot forward in between your hands. Spin your back foot flat, warrior two. Inhale, open towards the left side of your mat. And reverse your warrior, reach up and back. And come into side angle pose. Right forearm to thigh, or right hand outside of the right foot. Wrapping that right hip in and underneath you. You just want to take a few deep breaths to really open up that right hip flexor. Feel the left inner thigh spiral back nice and deep. Good. And then you're just allowing this to feel really good for the body. Again, this is a feel-good practice, so it should feel really juicy, really generous, really delicious through your spine. And if it doesn't, then take a step back. Nice. Take an inhale, come back into warrior two. And exhale, vinyasa, hands down to the floor, step the right foot back, lower down, open. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Inhale, lift your right foot up to the sky. Right foot, right foot, right foot. Right knee to left tricep, cross it underneath. Feel that slight twist and engagement of the left side body. Inhale the right foot up and back. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. So you're going to hop that back foot in about a foot and spin it flat, lining it up heel to heel alignment. Good. Go ahead and bring your hands to your hips and pull up to stand. Good. So just like Trikonasana triangle pose, except the hips are facing forward this time. You want to find some strength, some lift through those thighs. If you know you tend to hyperlock, so your knees overextend back, micro bend in that front knee, think calf to shin. Good. Grab opposite elbows behind your back. Maybe you find reverse namaste. Taking a prayer behind your back and then shinning it up in between your shoulder blades. You want to pull the shoulder heads back here. Find some breath through your collarbones. Good. Not too far back. You don't want to come into your lower back. Good. Take an inhale. And then exhale, fold forward halfway. Good. And then that right hip crease pulls back, just like crescent pose. Stretching out that front hamstring, building some strength actually in a lot of your stabilizers, your outer hips, your core, your shoulders, your inner thighs. And then just come back to your breath. Yoga is about connecting the mind, the breath, and the body. So allow all those elements to be present right here in this moment in your practice. Take an inhale, come back up to stand. Good. Go ahead and release the arms, reach your hands up. Good. And bring your hands to heart center. Good. Turn onto the back toes. Good. Come into warrior three, bending that front knee slightly as you reach forward and lift that left inner thigh towards the sky. Good. As that left inner thigh spirals up, flex the left foot back towards your face. And maybe reach your hands forward here. This is just like sunbird pose when that knee was down at the beginning of class. Take an inhale. Exhale, standing splits, hands down to the floor. Left inner thigh rises towards the sky. Crown of the head down, inner thigh up. Thanks, guys. Take an inhale. And exhale that left foot down to meet the right. Bend your knees, Utkatasana chair pose. Hug that right knee in towards your chest. And cross that right foot over the left thigh and bend into that hip stretch. And Exactly. Creating a nice number 4, flexing the right foot back towards you. You might choose to bring your hands to heart center. Lift the low belly up. And place your hands down on the floor. So for a lot of us, we might stay during the hip stretch. This is a really big stretch for that outer right glute. Others of us who are comfortable with the arm balance, you might place your hands down on the floor. Flex that right foot so that it hugs that outer left tricep in. Bend your elbows like chaturanga and think crow pose as you bring that left heel up towards your left glute. Nice, guys. You can lengthen that left foot back using standing splits in that back leg rise. Nice, Michelle. And then exhale, make your way back to stand at the top of your mat. Moving slowly, lifting the belly. Reach the right knee in. Woo. Right foot down next to left, hands to heart center. Other side. Inhale, reach up, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold, top of your mat. Inhale, sternum lifts. Vinyasa, downward facing dog. Maybe a slight pause to catch your breath. Inhale, lift the left foot up. Step the left foot forward in between your hands. Back foot spins flat, heel to arch alignment. Pinwheel open to warrior 2. Good. Find your Virabhadrasana 2. Flip your left hand towards the sky. Reverse your warrior. Reach up and back. Keep that extension to the left side waist as you place that left forearm down on your left thigh or outside of the left foot, coming into side angle pose. Good. So Utthita extended is the full expression of this pose. It's reaching that right hand towards the front of your mat and then up overhead. And if that happens, you just want to make sure there's still space in your neck. That shoulder is gliding down your back. The toes are soft. The entirety of the foot is rooting down. And you're just breathing into that left hip. Long exhale. Inhale, come back into warrior 2. And then exhale, hands down to the floor, vinyasa or downward facing dog, yogi's choice, but I kind of recommend a vinyasa between the sequence. Left foot up, left knee, right tricep, pull it up. Try to really rock into your fingertips. Feel those fingertips as they're brakes, they're little brake pads for your hands. Inhale the left foot up and back. Step the left foot forward in between your hands lightly. Hop that back foot in about a foot, spin it flat, heel to heel, if not wider alignment in the feet. Bring your hands to your hips, pull yourself up to stand from the belly. Good. So take whatever you took on the other side, grabbing opposite elbows, maybe even bringing fist to fist. Sometimes that feels good, right? The intention here is to broaden the collarbones and to lift the sternum up, find an extension through your lower back. Come halfway forward. Make sure the thighs are strong. And then go ahead and melt into your stretch. Good. So it's an active hamstring stretch. There's a lot going on here. You want to make sure you're still breathing. Take an inhale, come all the way back up to stand. Good. Release the arms, reach the arms up. And turn onto the back toes so the hips truly square forward. Hands to your heart, slight bend in that front knee, come into warrior 3 at the top of your mat. Right inner thigh spirals up, toes flex back towards your face. Hands to heart center, maybe hands out forward in front of you, or out to the side like a big T. Right inner thigh spirals up. Feel the left side waist lift. Good. Guys, take an inhale. And then exhale, standing splits, hands down to the floor. Right inner thigh rises towards the sky. Crown of the head melts down. Just take a few deep breaths. I like to think about finding Barbie toes in my back foot. That might mean nothing for Trey here. Means a lot to me. And that just means basically pressing through the mound of the big toe and pulling the toes back towards your face. It creates a nice line of energy in that lifted leg. Take an inhale, and then exhale that right foot down to meet your left. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Hug that left knee in towards your chest, and cross the left foot over the right thigh, making a nice four in the legs. So you're going to have to flex that left foot back. Yep, flex, not point. Flex. Hands to your heart. Lift the low belly up like crow pose. Yep. And maybe bring your forearms parallel with your shin. Okay. Yeah. And then maybe the hands come down to the floor. Make sure your pelvis is on a neutral playing field here. You might stay here and just enjoy the hip stretch. It's so nice for the body. You might place your hands down on the floor and work for the arm balance. And as the hands work down, you have to kind of glance forward beyond the fingertips. And at first it might be a little bit scary, but know that once the fear passes, you can eventually take flight, maybe lifting that right leg straight. And guide it, lengthen. And then exhale, come back to stand at the top of your mat, slowly exiting out. Reach that left knee in, and then set that left foot down next to the right. One, clearing vinyasa. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold for the mat. Inhale, glance halfway out. Plant your palms, step back to plank pose. Inhale, open up. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Child's pose. And take a few generous breaths here. Coming back to the same pose of where we started. Breathing into the body. Down in your practice, do a few twists, maybe do a back bend and some forward folds before you take